All right, what's up, y'all? Ghost Flows here from the Ghost Flow Speakeasy podcast, real life music crew, COB Indiana chapter and COB worldwide. Soot, soot. Okay, so this little video here I'm making just to kind of explain to y'all how different rap artists have different writing styles when they're coming up with stuff, right? Again, we go kind of parallel with things we talk about on the podcast. So several weeks back, I had to kind of do a podcast episode I called Off the Rails, where I just kind of went more personal. I talked about me and my writing process and things that I was doing, and I used the example of my Emotional Masochist album I put out a few years back, right? So I just want to kind of reiterate some of the things I was talking about on the podcast in this little video clip here. So I'll just tell you about like a couple of the things that I do when I'm coming up and writing different songs and stuff like that, how I come up with the concepts, and then how I prefer to write as far as, syllable counts and things like that. So stick with me. Ghost flows, speak easy. Okay, so a couple years back, several years back actually now, I put out a solo album when Killy and I, my other rap partner from Real Life Music Crew, when he and I decided to kind of do some separate projects and stuff, just to kind of get some different creative perspectives and things like that. Well, with me, I ended up putting out an album called The Emotional Masochist. And when I put that album out, it took me like almost 4 years to make this album, okay? And one of the reasons why is just because I had gone through a whole lot of stuff in that span of time, and I was just kind of writing songs after life events, basically, okay? So I started off making a couple of songs, a couple of different tracks here and there, and then it ended up to where like I had 4 tracks that kind of did an arcing, what do you want to say, like love story, right? So you went from the bad breakup to the type of girl you want to I found the girl, but she don't want me, she don't want me the same way, or she got these walls up type of things, and then into the love story and getting married and the happy ending type of thing, right? So it's all because I kind of somewhat was experiencing those type of things. Now the marriage thing came way later, right? But it was a time where I was just trying to come up with different content, and in the meantime I'm fighting really bad depression, on the verge of being full blown alcoholic if I wasn't already a functioning alcoholic in the time. Spending all this money on that, just feeling really alone, and basically at one point, feeling sorry for myself to the point that I'm wishing death on myself, right? And all of that. So all these different emotions, the good, the bad, the frustrated, the happy, the sad, all those things led me to write all these different songs that had to do with all these different life dealings. So I had a song telling you a little bit about what it was going to be with the intro, and then I had a breakup song. I had kind of a cocky, braggadocious type of song. I had the four songs in the kind of the love arc that I was talking about. And the thing that I started thinking about when I started doing the podcast and I did that episode was, how can I explain to people like my thought process when I'm writing? You know what I mean? And I know every artist is different. Some guys, they don't want the music, they just want to write, they're writing whatever they got. Some guys don't write it down, they kind of piece it together in their head, they know what they want to do, and they may piece it together 4 to 8 bars at a time, go in, record, fill that through 4 to 8 more bars at a time, and then go and fill that through. Some guys do it that way. Some guys try to go in and just freestyle it totally off the top of their head. Some people want to do it on their phones, whatever. At this time, doing the Emotional Masochist thing, I was still pretty much writing everything pen and pad, old school style, right? And so an example of, if I start writing and I get in that creative process, I'm one of those people that from start to finish, the concept and the story I tell all have to line up. The bars themselves don't matter right away. The story has to line up. So, in the example of writing those different songs, the breakup song, and then, writing about the type of girl you want and all these different things led to this story arc from bad to happy ending. And those 4 songs, we kind of placed strategically within the album to put one song in, you hear a song or two, put another song in, hear another song or two. So you're getting this whole life story over 4 years that I was living, and in the midst of the overall album, you're getting this small, relationship arc, basically. The other thing is this, like when I write, for me, I like to have the beat already because I want to feed off of the emotion the beat's making me feel. So if it's more of an up-tempo beat, it's probably going to be an up-tempo song. If it's anger or frustration I can feel in it, probably going to be that type of song. Same thing with sad or what have you. So the writing process for me, I feed off of the energy of whatever the instrumental's given me. The other thing is this. Once I have that emotion, once I have that concept of, okay, this song's going to be about, depression, right? So once I do that, then it becomes, is this a story about me, or is this a story about somebody else? Can I put myself in somebody else's shoes to maybe tell a story that I've read about, not personally experienced, but make it feel personal, right? So then I do that. Once you get past that, then it becomes, how do I lay this out? So I like to, I kind of have like somewhat of a melodic flow slash double time, not like Twister necessarily, or Tech Nine, or even like Bone Thugs, maybe more similar to Bone Thugs with the harmonies and stuff in the background that I personally like to put in, but I do like to have those syllable counts. So the way I like to do it is, if I want that cadence to sound damn near perfect every time that I do it. And so for me, the best way to do that is to count my syllables out, get the line down that I want, then fill it in with words that make sense with the syllable count I need. So an example is, if line A is 9 syllables and line B is 13 syllables, line C needs to be 9 syllables, line D needs to be 13 syllables, so that you get that cadence that you're looking for. So that's kind of a quick, very easy way to describe how I would count syllables to get the cadence I want for a song. It's not always that way, but that's one of the ones that I use for more of a double time style type of flow, a real choppy type of flow. And I also try to look at the words. How many words with that type of syllable count can I flip together that make sense, right? So without making this video too long, you go through life experiences, you take those experiences, you put them into song contents based on the music, and then you go through and you write out your bars, and then however your style is how you build your cadences and your song around it. All right, at least from my experience, what I like to do as an artist myself, how I like to write my songs. All right, so if you're new to it, maybe that kind of helps you out. If you're not new to it, maybe you've never tried that before. If you have tried that before and it doesn't work for you, that's okay. It works for me. It may, something you have may work for me. If you want to put it down, how you like to write, how you come up with your song concepts. So, yeah, there you go. If you want to hear more about that and the process I had going through that solo album, of course, Ghost Flow's Speakeasy podcast. And then, other than that, like I said, it's Friday here, so if you're listening to this weekend, I hope you have a great weekend. Whatever you guys are doing, be safe, and as always, speak easy.